Click on the subscribe button, especially the bell on the right side. Otherwise, you will miss the latest videos.
Okay, so today my waiting is over.
Perfect. Thank you, Vinayak. Thank you, Nitesh, on the background for taking care of the technical background. And also thank you, Sunil, from Saptarishis Astrology. Today, I think I'll be talking about a topic which possibly you'll see some of the foundations which are very important for us. Techniques वगैरह बाद में देखेंगे. पहले we'll see what are the foundations. How do we understand Jyotish from a Vedic as well as Puranic relevance? उसको समझने की कोशिश करेंगे और मैं हिंदी और इंग्लिश में बोलूँगा so that it's much easier to understand for a lot of people. And also,
So you are on mute. You have to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. So I think, as today's topic is going to be much more relevant on Puranas and the scriptures के बेस में लेके जाना चाहता हूँ. और ultimately we'll take into the colors. Application क्या है वो बाद में आएगा. पहले foundations को थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. I'll speak both in English as well as Hindi so that it reaches to a lot of astrologers like us, so that ये थोड़ा सा उसको फायदामंद हो. With that note, also I want to tell the presentation material will be available right away after this presentation, so don't worry about taking screenshots, camera se picture वगैरह लेना. Just cut off all those. Specifically, my request to you is give your time for next 15-20 minutes. And I guarantee you probably will take something home and try to apply that as well, right? So थोड़ा सा multitasking बंद करके थोड़ा सा interact करेंगे इसे. Then I think we have plenty of time after the session. Probably we'll have some additional questions to clarify. जितना मैं जानता हूँ वो आपको बताऊंगा मैं. ठीक है? With that note, Vinayak ji, can I take control on sharing my screen and going forward?
Yes, sir. I have already given you the access. You can share.
Perfect. So I want to go into the presentation today, and please tell me, you can see my screen clearly, Vinayak, and everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So today the concepts of usage of colors as a Vedic remedy, right? So today is May 15th, 2022, 7:35 p.m. maybe, and also 7:05 a.m. PST, California time, USA. Before I go, I would like to offer my pranam and gratitude to the Acharyas. They gave me immense amount of knowledge, Jyotish knowledge. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Hare Rama Krishna. Om Sriyai Namaha. Om Sriyai Namaha. Om Sriyai Namaha. The concepts which probably you'll be seeing today are actually flowing from these acharyas through me to you. So this is not my knowledge at all. And I'm still learning just like you. But I want to share with you what I know so far so that you can continue experimenting these concepts. एक दो चीज हम करेंगे, वो क्या है? Anything we want to learn from anybody, अगर आचार्य से शिक्षक कुछ सीखना चाहता है, तो हमारा कटोरी में जो सीखने के जो बर्तन जो है, जितना empty हो उतना अच्छा है. So what it means is, I know you all have a lot of knowledge like others, but today keep that knowledge aside. हो सकता है जो हम अभी बताने वाले हैं, there may be some conflicting of information to you, what you learned or what you're learning today. उसको थोड़ा सा साइड में रखिए, because the moment you bring your questions and doubts to learn this, then possibly your learning will be shielded and you will not possibly get anything from this session. सो रिक्वेस्ट ये है कि आपका जो लर्निंग है उसको रखिए, जो पॉइंटर्स आज जो मिलने वाला है उसको बाद में इसको एप्लीकेशन के हिसाब से रिसर्च पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से टेस्ट करके फिर देखेंगे कैसा ये काम करता है कि नहीं, राइट? सो दैट्स अनदर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू टुडे। सो सबसे पहले जो आज का डिस्कशन में नेचर ऑफ कलर्स, नेचर ने क्या क्या कलर्स हमें बताया, हमने कलर्स ने दिया था वो देखेंगे, तरह तरह के कलर्स हैं। एंड ऑल्सो सेकेंड क्वेश्चन इज व्हाई कलर्स एज अ वैदिक रेमेडी, जो अपने पास इतना सारे रेमेडीज हैं फिर उसको कैसे यूज करेंगे। Then I'll also talk about some Puranic relevance, जो एपिक्स में अपना जो पुराण में क्या बताया गया उसका ज्योतिष का क्या कॉम्प्लीमेंटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन क्या है उसको एक्सट्रैक्ट करने की कोशिश करेंगे, so that I will give you the method for you to think, then possibly you can do the similar exercises on your own. जैसे एक पुराण में कहानी सुना और पढ़ा, then how do you see the Jyotish relevance as well, वो एक तरीका है। दूसरा we'll also talk about the grahas, उसका कलर्स क्या है, जो राशिस का कलर्स क्या है, अपना जो ऋषियों ने जो स्क्रिप्चर्स के अंदर दिया है वो लेके आते मैं टेबल फॉर्म में, वो भी दिखाऊंगा। मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ नॉलेज, जो आज हम सीखेंगे इसको कैसे इस्तेमाल करें, राइट? देन ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव द क्वेश्चंस एंड आंसर सेशन मे बी एट द एंड फॉर 10-15 मिनट्स। सो ये आज का थोड़ा सा डिस्कशन पॉइंटर्स हैं। सबसे पहले इफ यू लुक एट दिस टुडे, this is a sky, it's a blue sky, right? You all see this many times, we all see every day. और इसका जो साथ में जो समुद्र है, the oceans, also blue. There's a science behind this, reflection theories, वो सारा इसको साइड में रखते हुए what we can see was, if the planet Earth has got 70+ percentile of water and the water is happen to be blue color, what are the reasons? Reflection, giving away, those kind of scientific theories. At the same time, sky also blue. थोड़ा उसको समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. Just keep this as a one pointer. Why this is blue? Now, if you go to the next picture, again, I'm trying to bring you something like this is also the ocean and also the skies. And the right-hand side, you see this huge amount of forestry, the greenery. So हमें अभी 3 colors dominate कर रहा है. Blue and green and also a sand, prithvi tattva. इसको भी थोड़ा सा point रखेंगे. We'll connect all these pieces as we go. Then we come to the nature's creation of the vegetables, fruits. देखिए क्यों ऐसा अलग अलग colors को जो creation ने हमें दिया था, तो थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करेंगे as we progress. Look at the colors: yellow, green, purple, blue, red, black. Varieties of colors are there, right? So there must be kuch matlab to hoga. So we try to understand how do we take these colors into action from a Vedic astrology point of view. Usko kaisa application karenge thodi der mein dekhenge. Then flowers ke bhi alag alag. This is a small fraction of things I try to collect from internet to show this today, but bahut sare colors hain. Even there are flowers of green color, isme jo purple nahi hai, baki colors nahi hai. There are varieties of colors of flowers as well. उसका मतलब आप देखेंगे, if you look at the nature has got the blue sky and blue oceans and also green forestry and varieties of fruits and vegetables and also varieties of flowers. What it is telling, colors has got a prominent thing to play in our day-to-day life as well, right? So this is how I'm trying to connect to the astrology, why we need to do. And also if you go back to the grains, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना नवधान्य, जो नवग्रहों के लिए एक धान्य दिया गया है, उसको दिए जो कलर्स है, देखिए एक ग्रेन है, इट्स अ डिफरेंट शेप, डिफरेंट कलर, different purpose for each of these grahas, varieties of offerings also we can put this. तभी तो हम कोई भी पूजा करेंगे तो हमें ये बताया जाता है कि नवग्रह पूजा पहले करें. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, पूजा करने से पहले हम बोलते हैं सूर्य देवता आवाहयामी, स्थापयामी, पूजयामी, उसको बुलाएंगे, बिठाएंगे, उसको पूजा करेंगे, उसको ऑफर करेंगे. क्या ऑफर करेंगे? नवधान्यों में धान्य उसको ऑफर करेंगे. और दूसरा जो अधिदेवता, प्रत्यधिदेवता उनके साथ आएंगे, उसको जो पूरा परिवार आएंगे उनको भी सम्मान करेंगे और उसको ग्रेन्स उसको ऑफर करेंगे, उसका कलर भी देंगे. So I think try to understand all these pieces, why the Vedas and Puranas are giving this even for doing the rituals like this. Similarly, money मंत्र और औषध बताया गया है जो रेमेडीज देने के लिए ज्योतिष शास्त्र में मणि, मंत्र और औषध। मणि का मतलब ये हो गया रत्न हो गया, जम स्टोन्स बोलते हैं हम लोग। एंड देयर आर वेराइटीज ऑफ चॉइसेस यू हैव। इफ यू हैव अ रियली गुड gemstone available and you have the resources, by all means people can go there and get it and use that as a remedy. दूसरा जो उपरत्न दिया गया है, जिनके पास उतना रिसोर्सेस नहीं है, तो अगर रत्न को खरीदने के लिए, रत्न को परचेज करने के लिए कैपेबिलिटीज नहीं है, रिसोर्सेस नहीं है, तो क्या करेगा? जो उपरत्न दिया गया थोड़ा सा नेक्स्ट लेवल का, थोड़ा कम होगा एक्सपेंसिव, maybe getting those resources is maybe easier for that person to be, in order for you to apply for remedial measures. Then the question comes is, जब ये एक आदमी आपके पास आएगा, you are being an astrologer, that person says, I do not have a job for the last 6 months and I don't know how I can pay my bills. Then you are thinking maybe I need to give a neelam, उसको देने से उसको फायदा होगा, but neelam may cost X number of dollars or rupees or whatever it is. क्या होगा उनके पास अगर पैसा नहीं है? तो तब इसलिए हमें एक वर्ण, जब कलर्स को देखना पड़ेगा. That is the basic premises of today. We are not saying that don't use gemstones. Very well use gemstones. If you are capable and effort, you can कर सकते हो. अगर नहीं है, जो उनके पास ये नौकरी नहीं है, पैसे नहीं है, फिर वर्णों को, जब कलर्स को इस्तेमाल करने की एक कोशिश है. आज का विषय जो है. Hope you got that point clear. Then the next point is, जो ज्योतिषी बनने के लिए we have to study Puranas, और जो एपिक्स है, महाभारत रामायण को जरूर पढ़ना चाहिए. I remember very well when I was studying from R.G. Rao in Bangalore, he insisted me to read Puranas. Without reading Puranas, Rao, you will not understand the Jyotish. So देखिए, I'll give some examples today. If you look at the Mahabharata, उत्तर गोग्रहण, I think सब जानते हैं ना, ये जो दुर्योधन, he wanted to get exile from the अज्ञातवास का जो पांडव से बाहर निकालने के लिए उत्तर गोग्रहण करता है, मतलब कैटल को सीज करने के लिए. उसमें एक इंटरेस्टिंग एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल इवेंट आपको मालूम आता है. व्हेन द पीपल गेट इन फ्रंट ऑफ अर्जुना एंड आल्सो द कुमारा ऑफ दैट द किंग वेयर दे आर एक्साइलिंग एज एन अज्ञातवास, उनका भी जो प्रिंस आता है इनके साथ में, ऑपोजिट में भीष्म, जो पूरा कौरव का जो सैन्याधिपति सब आते हैं. Then at the time of launching this warfare, then Duryodhana says, oh, look at this. These guys are actually taken out before the Ajnatavas because today is not the end of the day. Then Bhishma says, by the way, because of Adhikamasa, Kriyamasa, they have finished the Ajnatavas of 1 year almost now today. So that is why they're chosen to come in front of you. So इसलिए हमें पुराण को, इतिहास को पढ़ना चाहिए. और दूसरा, इसी कैटल सीज में there are varieties of varnas being explained in that epic. So थोड़ा सा पढ़िएगा, because they explain to that which particular Naresh, which particular Raj, a king, using what colors while coming to this for the warfare as well. जो युद्ध में बैठने के लिए, युद्ध करने के लिए जो आते हैं राज महाराज, they were wearing a particular type of clothes, a colorful clothes. उसको वर्णन महाभारत में दिया हुआ है. So please read that. So that's what I want to get you to understand, how important for us to read Mahabharata, Ramayana and Garuda Purana. देखिए, Garuda Purana में chapter 68 से लेके 80 तक, there are tons of astrological principles. और इसी में जो दिया हुआ जो क्या कहते हैं, the usage of gemstones exhaustively discuss किया गया है Garuda Purana में. So I would probably say read the Garuda Purana, and also Narada Purana में chapter 55 slokas 12 to 16 पढ़िए. You will find a lot of principles out there, in addition to our scriptures like Jatak Parijat mein hai, BPHS hai, Brihad Jatakam hai, and also I use some of these principles from Jaimini Upadesh Sutras. So please read all those books. Without reading them, in my opinion, Jyotish adhura hai. I don't think possibly we'll understand Jyotish the deeper level. So iske liye main ek attempt karna chahta hu abhi. Maybe I'll एक एग्जाम्पल के तरीके आपको दिखाना चाहूंगा कि कैसा करेंगे. Before we do, if you go to my website, this is what here is, raghunatha.com. If you click on this, you'll get audios. I have actually created an audio to see the creation को जो हमारा ज्योतिष में क्या संबंध है. Please listen to the audio, about 10 to 15 minutes. उसमें हमको बोलता ना 33 crore देवतास, 33 crore devasas. Itna crore devata kahan se? How do we find out? How actually they got the 33 number? I tried to attempt to give that information through my understanding from this Puranas for your purpose only. Okay, maybe after this session, go to my website, download that audio, and listen to that, please. Now, if we go back to the creation process, how these Panchatatvas are focused and how they go in a chronological order. This is actually coming from one of the Vedas and says, Akashat Vayuhu Vayur Agnihi Agnir Apaha Adyat Prithvihi, like that, which means Akashe Vayu banta hai. And Vayu is actually creating the Agni Tattva, and Agni Tattva is creating water, water is creating the Prithvi. So that is an interlink between this, right? So, and also isse Purush hum log aate hain, jo prani koti jo we're living in this planet Earth, we'll be living and eating all these resources and utilizing the resources. That's it's basically the creation process as well. Now, how do we see from astrologically from a reference point of view? As you all know, Mesha Rashi se leke Kanya Rashi tak, these goes into a sequence of fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. So if I take the pointer in a systematic manner, if I get some pointer to show you, agar hum Akash Tattva se Vayu Tattva banta hai, if this is Vayu as a starting point, yahan se 7th house is fire, yahan se, then comes to the water, water se earth again. So if you look at the zigzag position, it is touching all the Dvi Swabhava Rashis, air, fire, water, and earth. So this is the sequence, right? So that is why it is so important for us to understand the creation, the chronological order of Panchatatvas. On the top of all these fire, earth, air, water, the Akash Tattva is on the top of it. It combines, is sabko ek saath rakhega. So ye to hame understand karna bahut zaruri hai. And also we call this as the what do you call the Kendrasthanas, the 1, 4, 7, 10. Remember? So we need to keep that in mind as well. If we go to the next one, this is a list of colors I compiled from various scriptures. You may find them a little bit different than what you understand. Don't worry about it, but try to understand these and experiment with them. What you have a list, does it match with this? If not, experiment and see whether this really works for you. Then choose that particular color. Jyotish mein, this is a challenge we all have. Some parts of the country, some part of the world, they take different things and we take different things. The best thing of mindset of research or astrology is experiment yourself. अगर किसी ने रेड बताया सूर्य को, आप ऑरेंज समझते हो, तो इसको एक्सपेरिमेंट करो, फाइंड आउट करो कौन सी करेक्ट है, then use that particular one. And also Chandra, moon का जो white color है, कुजा blood red है. I don't want to read this, but look at these colors of those grahas. ग्रह तत्वों को समझने की कोशिश करना चाहिए. इसीलिए then they're also coming from the rashis. Each Rasi has got a color. Usko color ka combination, if you look at this, Aries is a blood red, which is Agni Tattva. And दूसरा Agni Tattva कौन है? Leo, which is Simha Rashi. Simha Rashi का क्या है? Background में कुछ yellow होगा, white के साथ में. It becomes khaki color, off-white color बोलते हैं. Sagittarius is another Agni Tattva Rashi. That is again a gold color, a yellowish gold color. Try to understand the elemental behavior of colors. As a Jyotishi or as an astrologer, student of astrology, possibly you'll understand a little bit more deeper, right? Now, with that example, I want to give an example to this. This is our standard Bha Chakra, right? If you look at even Rigveda, first Ruk, the first jo Haim bolte hain hum, you start to praise the Agni Tattva, Agni, saying, Agnim mide purohitam dhataram, continues that way, which means we're offering our obeisances to Agni and saying, you are the transformer. Anything to transform at point A to point B, Agni has to be initiated, right? That is why the Mesha Rashi in our Bha Chakra or Kalapurusha Chakra, Agni is the starting point. So we have the Agni Tattva of Mesha Rashi, Agni Tattva of Simha Rashi, Agni Tattva of Dhanush Rashi as well, right? So those are the three elements. But again, we know that these three Agni Tattvas are not same. There is a variation for that, right? So we need to understand that as well. Now, if we go back and say, if we wanted to do yajna or homa, what we do? We actually initiate the Agni and we say, Agni Devata, take this harvest, जो हम offerings दे रहे हैं, उसको पास कर दीजिएगा. किसको? इंद्राय स्वाहा. इंद्रदेव को आप दे दीजिएगा हमारा तरफ से. Means you are transporting this through, requesting through, giving Agni Devata, asking him to give it to Indra Devata. Then Agnaya Swaha, आप ले लीजिए मेरा जो हविस में अभी स्वाहाकार में मैं डाल रहा हूँ, ऑफरिंग जो है. वरुणाय स्वाहा, मतलब जो ऑफरिंग में दे रहा हूँ वरुण देवता को दे दीजिए. This is how we actually initiate the Agni Devata to other devatas as well. But what is the relevance of this today's topic of astrology? So let's take a look at this now. If you remember the story of Arjuna, अर्जुन जो स्वयंवर में जाता है, जो द्रौपदी का, काफी राजा महाराज शूरवीर आते हैं, दे आर नॉट एबल टू हिट दैट मत्स्य यंत्र जो मीन राशि में, जो मत्स्य यंत्र को भेज नहीं सकते, दे कैन नॉट इवन गेट इट डाउन. देन अर्जुन एक्चुअली he's done upasana of this, so he said, okay, मीन राशि को मैं थोड़ा सा इसको करके दिखाना चाहता हूँ. मीन राशि को if he shoots the arrow, when the मीन राशि is down, मतलब जो मत्स्य यंत्र को भेद दिया जाता है, then what happens? When the मीना is अस्तम करते हैं, उसको ऑपोजिट में कौन है? 7th house, कन्या उदित होगा, मतलब रेज होगा. So when descendant of मीन राशि comes in, उसको 7th house, which is Dwara is raising out, which means what he is achieving is actually by doing this मत्स्य यंत्र को भेद करने के बाद, he is getting a Kanya. Who is the Kanya here? Kanya is Draupadi. And Kanya Draupadi, uska saath mein kaun hai? If you look at again, because Draupadi is now the wife of 5 Pandavas, right? We can see from astrologically how they're connected here now. Bhed kiya, then the Kanya Rashi was the ascendant raise hua, then uska bagal mein jo Rashi jo hai, Simha Rashi and Tula Rashi ke saath mein, if you look at the nakshatras, kahan se kar raha hai Arjuna? Arjuna is actually raising the bow and putting the arrow into from the Sagittarius. Sagittarius का जो पूर्वाषाढ़ राशि का देवता कौन है? इंद्र है. So इंद्र का मतलब Arjuna is the son of Indra Devata. That's number 1. Number 2, if you come to Kanya Rashi, Uttar Phalguni Nakshatra. Phalguni Nakshatra means nothing but the Kanya who is going to get married has got a name called Phalguna. That's why we have Arjuna ko Phalguna, Savyasachi, Kiriti, they're all the names are given to Arjuna, right? Indra's son. So that is what is actually telling from your Kanya Rashi here. Kanya Rashi kone Draupadi. Draupadi is actually coming from the Vrishchiga Rashi. Vishakha Nakshatra, Tula Rashi mein, Vishakha Rashi ka Nakshatra Adhipati कौन है? Sachi. Sachi Dev कौन है? Sachi Dev is nothing but consort of Indra Devata. So Indra का जो son Arjuna है, और सची का जो अंश में जो जन्म लिया द्रौपदी, शी इज कमिंग फ्रॉम वृश्चिक तुला राशि से आ रहा है, which is basically द्रौपदी. देन ऑल्सो उसका साथ में जो नक्षत्र तुला राशि का अंदर जो है स्वाति नक्षत्र. स्वाति नक्षत्र का अधिपति कौन है? वायु देवता. सो भीमसेन कहाँ से आया था? वायु देवता का पुत्र है. सो देन ही कमिंग टू द लास्ट वन फ्रॉम हियर, मखा राशि in the Simha Rashi, which is also coincided by Kanya Rashi. That is how the Bhed, जो raising all this coming up, the Makha Rashi का जो देवता जो है यमा, और युधिष्ठिर कौन है? यमधर्मराज का जो संतान है. So now this is how we need to understand the astrological combinations, and also now go back and understand. There's a homework for all of you who are listening to this. How do you find out Nakul Sahadev? Exercise, homework आपके लिए. दूसरा ये जो colors जो है, जो अर्जुन क्या क्या कलर्स पहनते थे महाभारत में, और वायुपुत्र भीम क्या पहनता था, और युधिष्ठिर क्या पहनता था. This is an exercise for you, because this is how I want you to understand the Puranic relevance of Jyotish. अपना day-to-day application करना चाहिए. If you understand it, now the application point of view, कोई आपके पास आएगा तो पूछेंगे कि मेरा दामाद कहाँ से आएगा. Then you have a process to understand. किस नक्षत्र से आ रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, what kind of activities your husband or your son-in-law is going to do, or daughter-in-law is going to do, or husband is going to do. We can really find out many things from astrologically from taking all these principles. Hope you're getting this point clear. Now moving on to the next one. सबसे पहली बात, in order for us to understand the spiritual astrology, मैंने last time ही बताया था, we have to do a lot of mantra sadhana, japa sadhana. So उसके लिए there are different varieties of ways we can do it. सबसे पहले हम ये समझने की कोशिश करेंगे, हमारा देवतास बहुत सारे हैं, उसमें से 5 लिया जाते हैं, बिकॉज 5 तत्व हैं, 5 एलिमेंट्स हैं, पृथ्वी से लेकर आकाश तक. लेट्स सी वन बाय वन हाउ दे आर एक्चुअली कमिंग इनटू. आपको सबको मालूम होगा ग्राम देवता, बिकॉज वी आर ऑल बोर्न इन ए प्लेस, दैट प्लेस इज कॉल्ड ग्राम देवता. और मे बी टॉक टू योर एंसेस्टर्स, मेरा दादाजी कहाँ जन्म लिया था, हमारे मदर ने कहाँ जन्म लिया था, फादर कहाँ जन्म लिया था, वेयर वर दे बोर्न, व्हाट इज द ग्राम, द विलेज नेम, विलेज के अंदर जो ग्राम देवता कौन है, अंडरस्टैंड करो. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू उपासना करने के लिए. दूसरा, कुल देवता कौन है, हु इज माय कुल देवता, फैमिली डीटी. आस्क योर पेरेंट्स इफ यू डोंट नो, ग्रैंडपेरेंट्स, फाइंड आउट एंड स्टार्ट praying to them as well, because if you wanted to have a kula abhivruddhi, gotra abhivruddhi karne ke liye kula devata ka upasana bahut important hai, right? Next is a guru devata, dharma devata. Find out who is your guru, who is your teacher, who is your acharya, uska jo mantra jap karna chahiye. Then palana devata. पालना देवता क्या मतलब, जो पालना करता है, जो आलना पालना करता है, जो हमें जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स को फुलफिल करता है, देवता देवा, उसको फाइंड आउट करो. उसमें भी अपना ज्योतिष में दिया हुआ है हाउ टू फाइंड आउट. आस्क योर टीचर टू फाइंड, आचार्य टू गिव दिस इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम योर एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल चार्ट्स. डू द साधना ऑफ पालना देवता एंड ऑल्सो इष्ट देवता. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट in my opinion. Without Ishta Devata, possibly we don't understand all these intricacies of spiritual energy of astrology. जो पुराणों को समझने के लिए इष्ट देव का उपासना बहुत जरूरी है, right? Find out, talk to your teacher, talk to your acharya. If you don't have anybody, maybe reach out to me. I can see your chart and suggest if I can, right? But again, we have to have the spiritual foundations जबरदस्त होना चाहिए ज्योतिष को समझने के लिए. नहीं तो ये ज्योतिष इतना आसानी से नहीं आएगा. जो a plus b square equals a square plus b square 2ab, वहीं तक हम सीमित हो जाएंगे. हमें तो ये को समझना है, हमको b को समझना है. Why we are doing 2 times ab? Why we are doing square of a? ये समझने के लिए the elemental level of astrology हमें समझना चाहिए, तत्वों को समझना चाहिए, जब ग्रहों के साथ संभाषण करना चाहिए, फिर ज्योतिष आएगा. ठीक है जी. Going to next, if you look at the remedial measures, सबसे पहली बात यह है, हमें तो समझना चाहिए, understand complete होना चाहिए. Even this was even said in the Ayurveda books as well as Vedas also. रोग कैसे आते हैं? पूर्व जन्म कृतम पापम व्याधि रूपेण बाधते. पूर्व जन्म में जो हमने किया हुआ पाप क्रमों को, पाप क्रियाओं को जो भुगतने का जो अवकाश मिलता है इस जन्म में रोग के कारण, मतलब हमें we will get the diseases if whatever the sins we made in the previous life. So what it is telling us, one has to see from astrological chart and say what was the purva punya for this astrological chart I'm seeing to give a remedy, and whatever mistake this person has done, and what is the disease possibly this person will get in order to complete the karma, fulfill the karma. इसको fructify करने के लिए कर्मा को क्या diseases ये नेटिव के पास आएगा. तो ये देखने के बाद आप एस्ट्रोलॉजर उसको सजेशन देना स्टार्ट करना चाहिए. अंडरस्टैंड? सो अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द रूट कॉज. मैं कभी बताऊंगा, maybe I'll talk to Vinayak and other things and say there are some curses and शापास है, उनके साथ remedial measures कैसे करना चाहिए. उसका जो दशा एक है मूल दशा करके, मूल the root, उसके साथ हम कैसा पकड़ेंगे, how do we give the remedial measures with the mantra shastra. Those things maybe we'll take later on, right? But understand this, पूर्व जन्म कृत पापम व्याधि रूपेण बाधिते. जो व्याधि आता है पूर्व जन्म के साथ में, उसमें भी 6th हाउस का 8th हाउस का देखना पड़ेगा. ये एक करंट का है, आगामी है, निज रोग है, क्या है, कहाँ से आ रहा है, कब तक चलेगा. Those kind of things can be seen as well, right? Now, couple of things I want to talk about here. Again, foundation is the 1, 4, 7, 10th houses. These are basically so foundational. So anything you want to become an astrologer, सबसे पहली बात हमारा speech, जो वाणी है, जो वाणी का शुद्धि होना चाहिए, purity होना चाहिए. गाली दे रहे हो, or lies, you're telling lies all the time, you're not fruitful, you're not truthful, then how can you get suddhi of your tongue? सो एस्ट्रोलॉजर को जो बताने के बाद जो होगा, उसको जो इंफॉर्मेशन हमारा साथ में जो दिया जाता है बाहर में, योर टंग हैज टू बी वेरी वेरी प्योर, व्हिच मींस हमें शुद्धि फॉलो करना चाहिए. Tell, I mean, it's impossible to tell, not to tell lies possibly, but again, minimize them. Don't curse everybody for small things to big things, temper वगैरह नहीं, थोड़ा मार्क्स को कंट्रोल करना चाहिए, गुस्सा को कम करना चाहिए, शुद्धि बनाना चाहिए, right? This is the first house. Then you get, once you practice this शुद्धि, then you get बुद्धि, intelligence आता है, right? बुद्धि. So बुद्धि का मतलब मान लीजिए, I've seen a lot of, not lot, some of the astrologers, they are so curious to learn astrology. इधर उधर से किताब PDF ले लिया, इससे किसी से मांग लिया, किसी वो कर लिया. ज्योतिष थोड़ी आएगा. You have to get the knowledge from the right people, right? Purchase the books, or maybe ask the PDF version. Electronic version is important because we don't want to cut these trees printing all these books again. But electronic version में आप spend money or resources to get in the right way. Righteous way में खरीदना चाहिए. आपके पास ज्ञान अगर आएगा, उसी सोर्स में आएगा. So don't think that you have a 1500 PDF books and you'll get astrology. Forget it. You will not get it. Because आपके पास जो धर्म नहीं है, धर्म को फॉलो स्थापित नहीं कर रहे हो, how do you get knowledge? Knowledge के लिए हमें धर्म को स्थापित करना चाहिए स्वयं, right? So शुद्धि, speech, following the purity, truthfulness, बुद्धि फिर आएगा, intelligence, उसके साथ में वृद्धि होगा. वृद्धि मतलब increase. क्या होगा? Then your knowledge of Jyotish, understanding various tentacles, connections with the Puranas, the इतिहास में अलग अलग scriptures हैं, अलग अलग lectures लोग दे रहे हैं, किताब पढ़ रहे हो, articles पढ़ रहे हो, then the vriddhi of knowledge will come in. Once you practice this again, then you will get the siddhi. Means when you say something, possibly it will happen. That's what they call. The rishis जो बोलता है आपको कल्याण होगा. Why? Because they've been practicing this years all the time. Right? So this is very important for us to understand. ये practice आप सारे करो. Stick to the principles of getting these articles. पूछो, magazines को subscribe करो. Purchase the books. But don't think that you're sitting in a library of PDF books और कहाँ इधर सब किताब लेके librarian ही बनेंगे. Librarian का knowledge मेरे हिसाब से ज़्यादा नहीं होगा. But if you really get this knowledge in a dharmic way, possibly you will be immense amount of knowledge to get the siddhi level, which is the 10th of the Kendra Sthana. So ये थोड़ा सा समझने की कोशिश करना चाहिए, and also follow the principles of understanding and sharing is also very, very important, which comes through Suddhi, Buddhi, Vriddhi to Siddhi, right? Then, coming back to the Yoga Sutras, I think many of you already know this is nothing new to you. Look at the chakras. We have 7 chakras. उसका एक यांत्रिक depiction है, वो यंत्र कैसा कर सकते हैं, उसको कैसे साधना करते हैं. I think probably we will not talk about this today, some other day. And एक चक्र एक एलिमेंट को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, and also एक चक्र जो है एक कलर को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, and also as you can see here एक चक्र जो है एक दोषा आयुर्वेदिक में रिप्रेजेंट करता है. Now how do we use this? Let's think about this. मूलाधार चक्र का साथ में अगर आपने डिटरमाइन किया somebody is having a trouble at Muladhara Chakra area, then you know that you need to activate the colors of red. And also this is relevant for the Kapha dosha in Ayurveda, right? Then also Swadhisthana Chakra, Manipura Chakra, Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna, Shastra. I left a couple of them blank for your imagination because I want you to do some homework. It's just spoon feeding wali baat barabar nahi hai. I want always for us to think through and find out what is this. Filling blanks up karenge. And also look at this, indigo and violet colors. They're basically very, very ultraviolet, right? They just penetrate, try to find out what does it mean. Akash tattva ko activate karna hai. The blue color hai. Acha? Remember I was talking about earlier in the first slide, the Akash tattva was blue and Vata is the dosha. So we can actually look at Ayurvedic relevance से जो diseases को कैसे इसको हम इसको remedial measure दे सकते हैं, क्या कपड़े पहन सकते हैं, क्या colors को कपड़े पहनेंगे. Those kind of things can be leveraged as well, right? Now let's go to the next one. If you all remember, we studied this or we heard this or maybe saw in the movies, the Samutra Manthan ko, right? कौन किए थे? एक तरफ सुर हैं, दूसरी तरफ असुर हैं, the gods as well as demons churning the Meru Parvat here. When they churn like that, something comes out, right? Just like our mother or sister, they used to do earlier days, the churning of the milk, buttermilk ko kaise karte the? Yaad karo. When they pull with the Merudan, the pull and push, pull and push, pull and push. When you do this, when the churning takes place, few things will come out, which includes the buddhi, suddhi, everything. Also sometimes some bad things as well. So that's what we need to understand. That's what this depicting to us is. We're giving away something. We're giving to something to other people, right? Then it comes to astrological principles point of view. So if you think this is the Merudanda, if you consider this is a Lagna, and if you're pulling, Lagna ka next house kaun si hoga? Second house. So you're pulling this. So you're taking resources from nature, Aisa. Then what happens? The 12th house has to go up. This is the Merudanda, na? This is the kind of thing. So what it is telling us, by doing this Meru Parvat jo Samutra Manthan jo hua tha, isse hame ye malum pad raha hai ki anytime you pull from resources from the universe, you have to give something back, right? Second house, 12th house, second house, 12th house. Isko hum bolte hain Jaimini Siddhanta mein Upapada Lagna. I'm introducing a new fellow. Don't think that I'm going to teach Upapada Lagna today. Find out, there are fantastic books out there. I've already talked about before. Upapada Lagna means jo hamara 12th house hai. So usko activate karne ke liye, usko sthapit karne ke liye. Why we are doing this? Because if you go back to the colors ka kya foundation hai? If I go back to any of these colors, it is red because universe is absorbing all the colors except the red. Red is giving to you. The same thing for orange, same thing for green, same thing for the blue, right? White means sub reflect kar raha hai. Black means everything is taken inside. So what it is telling us, the colors are telling us that I'm giving you this color, I'm giving you this, the color is giving to you. So we apply that principle to this churning of Samutra Manthan, the second house and 12th house. Anything goes out is I'm giving this color to you. This is what my interaction with this, with all of you today, this particular color, right? So now let's see some examples, see how we apply this. Then we'll take a break after this, okay? This is an example chart. If you look at this, to attract the people and ensure by giving to people in the world. Remember, any colors we are giving to outside world, giving away, right? We should take the 7th lord from Upapada Lagna and use that color. Very simple. Why Upapada Lagna? Because that is where you're interacting with your society and people and system. So Upapada Lagna, yahan kaun hai? This is Aquarius, Kumbha Rashi. So yahan ka 7th lord kaun hua? 7th lord is sun. So if you use the sun color, then you will be attracting the people in the society for you, right? And how do we use this application? Wear this color clothes of attending meetings. Agar aapko meeting mein jana hai, again, business meeting ho, private meeting ho, friends ko meeting ho, even your websites. If you want to promote your colors of the website of your own to attract people to you, again, this is the remedy complementing to your gemstones and money, mantra, औषध, right? वो तीनों के बगैर अगर आपके पास resources, आपका जो customer के पास, client के पास resources नहीं है, use this as a complementing as well, right? Simple principle. So let's take another one. In this example, I want to talk about some of the Raja Yogas, right? We all know the Raja Yoga, Nichubanga Raja Yogas. I don't want to go there. You may have your version of Nichubanga Raja Yogas. So हमें तो कुछ principles है, like moon के अंदर में होना चाहिए. और जो इस एग्जाम्पल के अंदर यहाँ कौन है, सन इज डेबिलिटेटेड, इसको नीचभंग करने के लिए क्या क्या होगा? सो मून केंद्र में है क्या? लग्ना इज इन कैप्रिकॉर्न एंड मून इज इन राइट, दिस इज इन केंद्र 10th हाउस, परफेक्ट. मार्स एक्सॉल्टेशन साइन, जो सूर्य का जो एक्सॉल्टेशन साइन कौन है? मार्स है. Is that Mars is also available there, exalted, so definitely नीचभंग होगा. Then Saturn, जहां या Sun जहां debilitated होता है, वहां पर Saturn exalt होता है. So where is the Saturn? Saturn is here, so it's not giving anything there. So find out what are the नीचभंग principles. इस 3 ग्रहों में take the strongest planet of who's giving the नीचभंग Raja Yoga and activate using that color. Very simple, right? If somebody comes to you and says struggling with the Nich Bhanga Raj Yoga, is not activating, money purchase karne ke uske paas paisa nahi hai, the resources are not there, then this is one of the methods you can use to ask them to wear the colors of the pant, the shirt or pant, whatever the needs of the dresses as well, right? So just as one more example. Then Raja Yogas. If you look at the, again, this is another one for, I think this may be for the Obama, I guess. Saturn is debilitated, but, and Jupiter is debilitated, and sign Lagna Kendra placed in one sign what Gautama bhi hai. So this debilitation Jupiter cancels because of these combinations. So find out what is the color of Obama actually wears most of the time in the meeting time. Just go back and do some exercise. Like this, take some 10-15 charts, 10-15 examples of prominent figures, follow them, what type of colors they wear. Is that really making sense with somebody is suggesting them, or they have the right yogas to wear the clothes? Then they probably will do that. They don't need, sometimes the astrologers are not there for them. Sometimes they don't even consult astrologers because they don't believe in astrology. That's okay. But as long as the system works, during the Dasha, Antardasha, Pratyantarasa ke andar, wo apne aap wo colors istemal karna start karega. Or maybe they use the gemstones, or maybe they're doing some kind of remedial measures. So try to coordinate and see if what is that is going to help us to understand, so you can suggest your people are coming to you. Then I'll give one more example, then we'll stop. So this is an example of Varnada Lagna. I know some of you already read my papers. If not, go to my website. There are tons of papers. I think I've published more than 50 or 60 papers. Read them. You don't find PDFs there because I will be respectful for the publishers. So send an email to me. If you want to read about the Varnada Lagna, Hindu Lagna, any paper, send an email. Rao, I want this paper. I'll send it to you with permission from, of course, the magazine, because I'll be sending only my article, not the entire magazine. So that way I'll be respecting their privacy and the publication rights as well, right? So if you look at the Varnada Lagna, it describes the social standing of the people to whom you associate. Varnada Lagna, Varnada Lagna. So there's a lot of relevance was given, and also the detailed description of calculations and application was very well defined in our BPHS, Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra, Volume 1 by Girish Chandra Sharmaji, Chapter 6, slokas 13 to 16. Refer that. I think I've provided the details out there. Santanam also given some examples. Understand the Varnada Lagna. This is so important. If you really wanted to see somebody is making some resources for living, I would take this right away. Look at this, especially the Varnada Lagna Lord and 11th Lord are important, right? 11th Lord from Varnada Lagna represents where one will get the income from. So using this color ensure they will get the income for eating, resources, right? The comfortable living. So that's what we need to understand. 11th house from Varnada Lagna. Varnada Lagna, uska Lord kaun hai? Kahan hai? Look at all these yogas, look at the combinations, identify the strong planet, suggest that color, wearing that color dress, right? I think it also, simplest thing is, if you want to go to the detail level of Varga Chakras, of Dashamsha, for example, Varnada Lagna in detail shows the kind of people you're dealing with at work, office, profession. But A7, Arudhapada of 7th house, in D10 can represent people one should associate with, example. See, there's a difference, distinction between those two. Try to understand, because understanding Jaimini principles, then applying Varnada Lagna and applying the colors, possibly you can help a lot of people with not much of spending money if they don't have resources to spend money for gemstones, right? So we are not advocating not to buy the gemstones. If they have resources, by all means they should, right? And also the last example here I want to give, and maybe we'll stop. For example, if you look at this, if you see any Raja Yogas in the chart and you want to strengthen, then wear the color of the sign and the Raja Yoga will activate. Very simple. For example, if you're looking at, say, Raja Yogas are there are multiple yogas are there, they're not, the native is coming to you, they're not activated, the dashas are still activating, maybe later time. Identify what graha is actually giving that, strengthen that particular lord of the Rashi. And also what I found in my practice is preferably these signs should be Kendra from Lagna or Lagnesha. Then I think the results will be phenomenal, right? So with that, I think you can also look at multiple things. Somebody is coming in to say, okay, my relationship with my wife is not going very well, and I need some help. What is the Jaimini Sutra says? Second house from Upapada Lagna needs to be strengthened in order to maintain the relationship with husband and wife, right? So what is the second house? Find out from that particular native chart, second house from Upapada Lagna. Take that, strengthen that, sustain karne ka. Second house to marriage ko sustain karne ka. I mean, apply all your Jyotish principles, jo humne aapne seekha hai, apply through the colors as well as a different method of complementing the remedial measures as well. I think with that, possibly, I will stop giving the information to you, and I think I gave lots of knowledge possibly for you to test it, practice it, and those kind of things possibly. With that note, Vinayakji, take control and see if we have any questions or thoughts. Maybe we can discuss together.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for this wonderful presentation. And now it's time to Q&A. So if anybody wants to ask question, they can ask. I am unmuting all.
Hi, sir. Good evening. I'd like to ask a question, if I may. May I, sir? Hello.
Yes, Ritika ji. Yeah.
Hi. Namaste, sir. Good evening. Thank you, Raghu, sir. It was a brilliant session. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I could attend this. One question that comes to my mind is, suppose one has to activate the Raj Yoga, for example. And there is so one should look at the sign or the planet. Basically, one should pay more attention to the planet that is creating that Raj Yoga, or B, one should look at the sign where that planet is going and creating the Raj Yoga. So if you could just let us know.
Ritika ji, this is a fantastic foundation question. हमें तो ये समझना चाहिए ग्रह क्या करता है, राशि क्या करता है. राशि इज द परमानेंट इन नेचर, है ना, ज्योतिष में. इसको मतलब जो जिस राशि में राजयोग बन रहा है, दोज आर द एक्टिविटीज, फैसिलिटीज वहां से दिया जाएगा. पर जो ग्रह जो दे रहे हैं, those are the grahas actually giving this impact. So we need to see the combination of this and see the best possible way you can suggest the remedy.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
एक चीज और बताना चाहता हूँ रितिका जी. See, grahas always have a desire. ग्रह का क्या डेफिनेशन दिया पराशर ने? पराशर मुनि ने दिया था ग्रहणम इति ग्रह, जो हमको ग्रहण करते हैं, ग्रह करते हैं, मतलब हमको इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं ग्रह. So इसलिए वो जो इन्फ्लुएंस जो ऑलवेज डिजायर में होता है. राशि जो है कलेक्शन एज अ परमानेंट इन नेचर, वो तो परमानेंट है. वहां जो स्थापित होगा उसको जो एक्टिवेशन के साथ में ग्रह को मिलके हमें देखना चाहिए. दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू सी द डिस्टिंक्शन बिटवीन दीस टू.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And there's another question in the chat section. I will read it out.
Sure.
And this question is from Himanshu Tiwari. So he's asking, is it possible to use colors in our daily life as significantly as it is mentioned in the Puranas?
Perfect. So for example, see, this is where we need to understand the astrology. Astrology को tool जैसे हमें इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए. रोज तो मैं अलग अलग कलर पहन सकता हूँ. If I'm going for a very important meeting, इंटरव्यू में जा रहे हूँ, बिजनेस डील्स का करने जा रहे हूँ, और कोई spiritual काम करने जा रहे हैं, then I would probably say use those colors appropriately, because we want to get the best of these grahas. हमें blessings चाहिए. Why? Because remember, शुद्धि से बुद्धि, हमें इंटेलिजेंस को स्थापित करना है. जब विचक्षणा ज्ञान बोलता है ना, उसको स्थापित करना है. वो कहाँ से आएगा? ग्रहों का उसको जो ब्लेसिंग्स हमें मिलेगा उसको एक्टिवेट करना चाहिए. So don't use for every day. Use it when it's important for you. When you think this is critical, I would say yes. Why not? Just why I'm wearing this color? Why Vinayak is wearing that color? It is not by choice. You always do, but if you're a little bit more practice करके थोड़ा साधना करते हो, तो थोड़ा अपना इंटेलिजेंस अप्लाई करने की मौका मिलता है. Otherwise, things will come on their own by just like that.
Yes, sir. And I posted the website link of browser, so where you can download this PDF file.
Oh, by the way, PDF already uploaded हो चुका
I
है.
have seen it. Okay, so you all can download it, and also if anybody interested, they can watch the previous sessions of browser, astrologically taking a deep dive into marriage and related. This video is already uploaded in the Saptarishis. You can find out the link in the chat section. You click on that link, you'll find the full all lectures of browser, including
So
the.
Himanshu was asking a very good question. Undiagnosed diseases. ये तो I think विनायक जी एक सेशन करना पड़ेगा. This is called बाधका. जो अदृश्य जो है, जो अदृश्य, जो बड़े बड़े डॉक्टर्स हैं, स्पेशलिस्ट्स हैं, उनके पास इतना नॉलेज है, but they sometimes cannot apply the right diagnosis and treatment for their patient because जो अदृश्य जो अपना जातक में जो है वो इन्फ्लुएंस करता है जो स्पेशलिस्ट को कि नजरअंदाज करने का, illusioning. So what is the answer for your question is, Himanshu, identify who is Badhaka, Badhakesh, कौन सी what do you call, what is the main dasha, antardasha, pratyantardasha, क्या चल रहा है, क्या relationship है, then bring the colors into play. Probably you'll get the answer there. बाधकेश को पकड़ना चाहिए. उसके लिए मैं एक सेशन करूंगा. There are fantastic mantras from Rigveda. अगर ऋग्वेद का जो मंत्र आप लोग सब 12 जो राशियों का मंत्र एक एक है, एक एक को अक्षर लक्ष्य बोलते हैं. अगर आप प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, in my opinion, you as an astrologer can solve 50% problems of the world. जो आपके पास आएगा बाधक के साथ काफी आते हैं, because अदृश्य है, वो दिखता नहीं है. Because again पूर्व पुंजी का जो है ब्लॉक करेगा, the fifth house को completely ब्लॉक करता है. उसको निकालने के लिए फिफ्थ हाउस को आपको पूर्व पुंज अकाउंट ओपन करने के लिए you have to have this जप साधनास, right? वो आपके पास अकाउंट में है लेकिन आपके पास चाबी नहीं है. That is what the बाधका does, अदृश्य का साथ.
Any other questions from the audience? They can unmute themselves, or else they can chat in the, or they can type in the chat section. Also, maybe after watching this video on YouTube, if you have any questions, any doubts, you can mail us at admin@saptarishiastrology.com, or else you can also contact Rao sir. You will find the contact details, email ID and all in the website. That website I already posted in the chat section. You can send your queries directly to
So
Rao.
I just want to make sure that people don't get it. I got no interest of promoting my work, anything. It's completely free. जो हमने किताब हमने लिखे थे, I gave all the rights to Saptarishi and other publishers for free. I don't take any money. Either you buy these books or not, makes no difference to me. But why I'm asking, because a lot of research was done. A lot of research was done. I think my students have done a phenomenal work, and you should use them. You should use them because it is a very relevant for today's world. आज का जो क्वेश्चंस आपके पास आते हैं उसमें सारे प्रिंसिपल्स बेस दिया गया है, थोड़ा साइंटिफिक अप्रोच लेके गया था उसमें. इसलिए इफ यू हैव रिसोर्सेस इंटरेस्ट, feel free to buy from Saptarishis Astrology. हमें कोई लेना देना नहीं है.
Yes, sir. And also, if possible, you are talking about.
Hope this session is a little bit helpful for many of you, and practice it. Again, you may find बृहद जातकम में कलर्स अलग, थोड़ा सा अलग है, BPHS में अलग है, वराहमिल का कुछ चीजों में अलग है. ये वेरिएशन थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करना चाहिए, right? Then experiment with your own understanding. Don't reject it. इसलिए मैं शुरू में बोला था, when you come to learn from someone, आपका जो कटोरी जो है जितना खाली हो इतना अच्छा है. अगर कटोरी में पूरा भरा हुआ है, I know everything, then what you learn from Vinayak or Dr. Sani or Dr. Rao or whoever, doesn't matter, because it's not there. Your bowl is not empty. Bowl को empty हमेशा रखिएगा please. हो सकता है
Vinayak,
कि
yeah, Vinayak, I have a question. Shrikant here.
Yes, Shrikant.
Can I go ahead?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Guruji, I just have one question here.